And now may I ask colleague Panayotou.
The moral compass of the EU is completely broken. Since 2022, the EU has sent 138 billion euros to Ukraine in military and humanitarian aid. We have cut diplomatic ties with Russia and imposed the biggest amount of sanctions in history, a quite clear and powerful response. On the other hand, when it comes to Palestine, our stance is completely different. The Israeli government is conducting a brutal genocide, and the people are even starving to death due to the blockade the last 2 months. Despite all of this, the EU maintains normal relations with Israel. No big sanctions, no cutting diplomatic ties. Many EU leaders met with Netanyahu, like the president of my country, Cyprus, recently did. But none of you will even consider to meet and just talk with Putin. So just let me ask you, where is our moral consistency? Thank you. I love you all.
Will you accept the blue? I'm sorry. Will you accept the blue card from Mr. Körner?
Yes, thank you, colleagues, for accepting my blue card. I want to ask you: have you been to Ukraine once? Have you visited? Have you seen what's happening there? What you do here, and with the massive media outrage you have, especially for young people in Europe, I think it would be your responsibility also to look what's happening there and not doing whataboutism, what you did right now with this speech. Talk about Ukrainians, see what's happening there, and then talk again with us about what's happening there.
Thank you for your feedback. I've been to Ukraine, and I'm going in a few days in Russia as well. The goal of going in Russia is to show that we need to talk and solve this problem. Ukrainians are dying. We need to start diplomacy. This is what we need to do. It doesn't cost a lot. We are trying to rearm Europe with 800 billion euros, and talking is free. This is what we should do, I think. Thank you. I love you all.
Our next speaker, Mr. Botenga, you have the floor.
Thank you. Madame van der Leyen.
Mrs. von der Leyen. Oh, no, she's gone. Really, we asked the President of the European Commission to be here 2 weeks this week, and she leaves after half an hour. What is this? Her worker should try and pull that off, to get a full-time salary and to leave after 30 minutes of work. Congratulations. Well, today I heard you say, yeah, I'm sorry, but we have to work. Maybe for some MEPs that's difficult to understand as well. You said you're against the illegal occupation, you're against bombings, slaughter, child abductions, and all of a sudden we're going to increase sanctions against Russia and send more weapons to Ukraine. I'm against illegal occupation as well. I'm in favor of respecting sovereignty, international law, and I don't understand. I don't understand why you're continuing to support Israel. Famine, massacre, genocide, many applaud here, don't even want to debate the issue, and you're still delivering weapons. Yes, you too, madam. You're also an accomplice. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Excuse me, will you accept a blue card from Mr. Tinkinen? Yep. Yep. Now
I'll speak in Finnish. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Vaikka en ole Ursulan suurimpia kannattajia, niin
So I'm not the biggest fan of Ursula, But I think that was populism. We understand that the President of the European Commission has a packed agenda, a packed diary. She has a lot to do. She listened to us. It's excellent that Mrs. von der Leyen came, even if briefly. Secondly, you said that we have to move forward, but that you're surprised that we're sending weapons to Ukraine. But if you're against illegal occupation of territory, but against sending weapons, how is Ukraine to defend itself?
No.
Mais vous êtes merveilleux.
But you're wonderful. This is wonderful. Oh, you don't mind that the President of the European Commission is here or not? What kind of MEP are you? Are you not interested in having someone representing the European Commission here? What are you doing here? Now, when it comes to weapons to Ukraine, my point is that we send weapons to Ukraine, but we're not even sending humanitarian aid to the Palestinians. We're not even guaranteeing that they can die. And when we ask for a debate, you voted against. You don't even dare talk about it. That's what makes you an accomplice. So don't talk about Ukraine and the human rights when it comes to Palestine, you don't.
Our next speaker, colleague Volgin.
Уважаеми колеги,
Colleagues, let us finally stop lying and say the truth. EU leaders have never wanted to have peace in Ukraine. They've never wanted to help Ukrainians live normally. The only thing they want is to harm Russia. It is in the name of this goal that they use Ukraine cynically and turn Ukraine into cannon fodder. Immediately after the inauguration of the US president, 2 special envoys were appointed to work for peace in Ukraine. For more than 3 years of war, Brussels has failed to launch a single peace initiative or to appoint a single special envoy to settle the conflict. Instead, EU leaders have pumped money and weapons into the regime of Zelensky, doing everything they could to continue the war. Key positions in the main EU structures have been occupied by people who have toxic anti-Russian hysteria instead of brains. This absurdity is going on. The militarization is developing at catastrophic speed. Euro bosses are like sleepwalkers marching steadily to the abyss of nuclear apocalypse. And they drag the whole of Europe with them. To justify their senseless militarism, EU bosses have invented the non-existing Russian threat. They scare us that unless we get armed to the teeth, Russians will conquer Berlin tomorrow, they will march on Champs-Élysées the day after tomorrow, and they will beat us to study Russian. No normal person would believe such nonsense, but regrettably, Europe is not governed by normal people today. They believe that hatred and fear will finally turn Europe into a single whole. That was the line of thinking of Napoleon and Hitler, ultimately deciding that the best cure for any problem is an attack against Russia. We all know what the fate of Napoleon and Hitler was. It seems, however, that today EU leaders want to repeat their fate. Thank you.
Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love deep dives into global power plays, hit that subscribe button. See you in the next one.